Today we're going to be installing some gas hood struts in the 3rd gen Tacoma. Welcome to Snail Trail 4x4. I'm Jimmy Jet. If you like building Toyotas and going off-roading, then this is the channel for you. Today we're going to be installing some gas hood struts because if you've ever tried to lift the hood of a Tacoma, you know it's one of the heaviest hoods that you've ever tried to lift. I can't believe how heavy it actually is. These guys will help us lift the hood and it'll hold the hood up so we don't have to use that kickstand anymore to hold that hood. Also, getting rid of that kickstand is going to give us a little bit more freedom to be able to work in the hood when we do that in the future. So I'm super excited to be lifting the hood up with these RedLine gas struts. Here we have the kit where we have the 2 gas struts. It also comes with all 4 of the hinges with the tops and bottoms, and then we have to pop rivet them in. All right, so grab your tape measure. The first step, what we're doing is we're measuring from the end of this hood hinge. We're butting the end of the tape measure up there, and we're going 19 inches up to draw a line right in that area. So 19 inches up, that's where I'm going to start putting the tape into that area. So just going to hang over this little bump for it right there. Right here, 19 inches up. I'll just draw that line right there. And then I'll extend that back. So with the ball facing inward, we're taking this is the longer bracket of the 2. We're going to put the bottom end of that on our 19-inch line. And then it's sort of difficult, but what you're going to do is you're going to measure out to the edge of the hood 2 1/4 inches. So I need to move out more, which is right about there. And then you mark the bottom hole. Putting the punch in the middle of that hole or the mark that we just made, we're just going to give it a quick tap. And now we're going to get our drill bit. Now that we have that center punched, we'll just put the drill in that area and give it a little bit of pressure up and then just drill it away. There you go. All right, so what we need to do next is we need to put this pop rivet through the bracket. It's really tough and it doesn't really want to fit through very well, and it has a hard time going through the hole that we just punched. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to use a screwdriver and a hammer, and I'm going to put the screwdriver here on the pop rivet part. I'm not putting it up on top, I'm not putting it up here, I'm putting it down here because this is the part that we're trying to push all the way down and through the bracket and up into the hood. So just by putting the head of the screwdriver there, we can tap it up into the hole. Now what we're going to do is use the pop rivet gun to pull that apart. All right, so make sure that your rivet gun is a 3/16, that you've got that set up. Slide over the end of the rivet and then just give it a few squeezes till it pops apart. So now what I'm doing is just making sure that the bottom is still right around 2 1/4, and then measuring the top side and making sure that's at 2 1/4. We need to go in just a hair. There we go. Now we're going to punch and then drill that hole. There we go. All right, so now we got both of the pop rivets in. This ball is facing on the inside of the motor. Everything's popped all together and holding still. Now you do this same thing to the other side. The next step is for us to remove this trim piece because the lower hinge bolt goes down on this side. What you need to do is you need to pop off this pin right here, and by doing that you just reach in with a screwdriver and pull that out, and then you can simply just pull that through and pull it out and away. What's interesting is we just did the loosey-goosey Tacoma earlier, and this was on the opposite side, so I'm not sure why that is. So yours might be in a different location. Then what we do to get this off is we just pry it into the engine bay. It has little clips on it, but they pop off going inwards. They just clip into there, slide in and out this direction. So just push it in and that pops off as well. So there's this hard mount bracket right here that goes up and down. It's underneath the hood hinge. What you do is you're going to butt the piece of tape your tape measure up against that. And then you're measuring 12.5 inches back. So that's going to end up right about here. For me, I'll just clean off a spot and I'm going to put some tape down there so I can make my mark. So 12.5 inches up from that bracket, we're making our mark, and then we need to get the lower hinge, and that's going to go on that back side forward. So with the ball facing in towards the engine, we're going to mount or hold this bracket up right against that line there. Then what I find is you can wiggle this back and forth a little bit because there's a rivet on this side. So find a good position that's nice and even, and then mark your hole for the drilling location. Set your punch up in the middle of that hole and give it a good whack. And then get your drill. Drill it straight down. Now you can remove the tape, and we're going to pop rivet that into place. So just like before, since this is really difficult to get down and into that hole, I'm going to cheat a little bit by using the screwdriver and putting it down on the rivet. Sorry, I'm covering it with my hands. Now we'll pop rivet that into place. It's definitely easier to pop rivet the top side than the bottom side. It's just more room up there. There we go. Now I'm just going to make sure that this is nice and straight and even on there. I'm going to take my hammer and punch the next hole. Give it another drill. You can put the pop rivet in on the other side. Now with that done and in position, now you do the same thing to the opposite side. So just as we took these off, we put them right back on. We're going to slide these up a little ways, and then they just slide over those little clips. There we go. And I'm going to push these down and through. And then you just push the button down, and it holds it in place. So the next thing is we cycle these struts. What you do is you got to put it against something soft, so I'm going to use these mats. And then you push down onto them. They are heavy, they are hard, so you just got to push all the way down, and you want to cycle it up. Let it do that 2 or 3 times. They've got quite the force to them, but that hood is heavy, so we need to do these to both of them. All right, so with the help of a friend, I'm going to have you hold the hood up. We're going to lower the kickstand that way. Then we are putting the gas strut up to the top, and you just simply push that in. Push it over the end, and it snaps on. Then we need to go down a little, right there. Then we can push the bottom one on. There we are. All right, that's on. Now we do the other side. We'll put the top on. You just push it over the end, push it over the top, make sure that the metal clip is on there, and then let's see, up a hair right there. Ooh. And then on the bottom. All right, let go. Woo! It stays. Nice. Kickstand out of the way, nice and open right here. And what I really like about this is that it is really nice to open. You just flick it. It goes all the way up by itself. You don't have to lift this heavy hood all the way up there and then put the kickstand in. These new gas struts are going to be awesome. I'm super excited about them. If you like this video, hammer down on that subscribe button, and don't forget, keep crawling.